It is indeed. Unfortunately, I will not be able to stream for the next 3 weeks. Uh, oh wait, I forgot a thing. Yeah, so I'm going to be traveling. I did try and set up the stream, like the whole stream setup on my laptop, but for some reason, a bunch of the stuff isn't working properly. Can't get my model working, can't get the chat working, can't get can't get like the multi-stream working. There's basically a whole bunch of problems that would stop me from being able to stream while I'm traveling. Hey, Alan. Um, but yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. I will try and be more active on the Discord. So if you still want to hang out and that kind of thing, then I will be available there. But and I will be posting every so often um to the story thread, but the usual stuff is um going to be harder to do, especially like specifically streaming to YouTube and stuff. What I might be able to do is like single stream. Hey Zelna, uh, you do indeed exist. What by the way when? But yeah, I'll be able to. But yeah, I'm flying out like in 4 hours. As soon as the stream is over, I'm getting changed and then leaving for the airport. But yeah, I think I might be able to set up like a single stream to YouTube, but no what do you call it? No multi-stream to Twitch and stuff, which is gonna be a big pain in my ass. And there won't be any chat on stream. So most likely what things will look like is I will have where's my thumbnail stuff? Thumbnails, here it is. Oh, that sucks. But yeah. So I might be able to do some a single streaming to YouTube, but even that's kind of a little bit iffy because that depends on me being able to get reliable internet while traveling, and that's not going to be a great option. But yeah, I will try and do my best to be on the Discord and respond to messages there. Oh? What you gonna try? Yeah. Oof. Yeah, that sucks. I had a weird issue this morning. What do you call it? We had some cake for someone's birthday because I'll be traveling. They decided to do it before I left. And it was a homemade cake and everything. It was great. Thing is, I for some reason experienced some very unfortunate stomach issues in the hours following that, which is unfortunate. Nice. I'd love to see what you come up with. Ignore all for Umua, ignore all for Ime, Grace, and Fiona. Seven. Ignore once, ignore all. Ignore all. Ignore all. Ignore all. Ignore all for Jun. Evac. ASF. Raisins. Arano. Juma. Euro Helm. I'm doing mostly decent. I'm going to be traveling in a few hours, so streams are going to be... So I'm not going to be happening. I'm going to try and be more active on the Discord to make up for that. And if I can get good internet somewhere, I will try and single stream to YouTube, but that's not guaranteed. That is very much not guaranteed. Nice. Ignore all for our bell. Subhans, ignore once for that. Ignore all for starport. Ignore all for Subhan, uncollaring. Ignore all for G's, Bit, Gersinians. Ignore all for dropship. Pieces. Jump ship. Star, Akon, Jax. Ignore all for Deadman. Marians. Dropships. Cancel. Okay, whatever. Okay, ignore all for Spirogel, ignore all for no-clads. Okay, good. Now I need to go through and add the explanatory ones for this. ISAP shuttles. No-clads, satellites. No-clad is picking up a GPR. Let's pick up more. L2 out. Raiders. Oof, that's annoying. On Scratch? I mean, I've heard about it on Discord, but friggin' Scratch is nowhere sacred? Oh, wait, did I already post chapter 40? I did. This is useless then. Taking say last stream before my say break traveling. Yikes. Yeah, no, I have like family who like are young and do like learn software development on Scratch. That is creepy as shit. Yeah, I might actually let. Technically, what they're doing is protecting advertisers. That is what they're doing. It's not to defend them or anything, but basically advertisers won't put money on, say, don't like putting ads on videos talking about um, anything that would give a negative association with the brand. But yeah, no, that is absolutely fucking terrible. Uh, but yeah. This needs to be an X posted. That will be here. This needs to be dropped here. 7. Yep. Ignore all for Lost Tech, Mech Warrior, Potchberg, Brian's, Hannigan, Jumas, Cosmos, Hannigan's, Razat, Krasinski's, Amaris, Rockwell, Krasinski's, Endosteel, Holotanks, Hannigan, SLDF, Computer, Fushida. Actually, that was misspelled. Push. 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 Ida. Ignore all for Glob. EF drives. EF booms. Correct. Ignore all. Ignore all. Ignore once. Ignore all for Comguard. Ignore all for Jump Drive. Lordanax. Bifrost. Ignore all for Compad. Yes. Okay, good. Now I need to do all of the acronyms. And ground penetrating radar. Yikes. That is extremely unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, bots are always going to be a thing. Yeah. I was There was restricted and lost control. Yeah. Ash. Modification. Dalmatia. They needed to rebuild. Captains, yeah, theory. Ignore. Okay, cheers, man. Get some rest. Charging system. Showed that they were This feels like I'm missing a chapter. Glowing file. Okay, do that. Grab that, go here. Rolls. For fuck's sake, I hate this space. Uh, post there. Grab the name. Post reply. Post reply. There we go. That is everything for that. Forces racing to intercept the ships as they touch down at landing site only a few kilometers outside. Not a single defender dared. Single defender dared. Just dared approach the army. Now waiting at side now amassing at the just outside the city walls. Mm. Even as armored vehicles, mechs form, mechs, slowly, or arrange themselves into an orderly formation, they still did nothing. The ASFs flying overhead. Um, uh, 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 keeping any forces, any remaining defenses, deep. Uh, uh, I can keep in cover under the protection and hidden under buildings and within bunkers. Even as mm, um, uh, uh, several more driving in from distant FOBs. Hey, how are things? Banners of the Magistracy of Canopus. Yep. Wait, which one? The movie version or the comics version? Because they're two very different ones. Okay, the one where he found the symbiote in the Beyonder's spaceship, I believe. Yep. Okay. The new Victus coalition flew side by side. The lavender and the lavender fields alongside the green and gold. The say somewhat sporadic among the green and gold. Yep, I remember Artoria. Yep. Somewhat sporadic. Some of the next stomped into the city. And met the first attempt at resistance. Oh? SRMs bursts from man-portable launchers set up in buildings, fired through blasted out windows, careening towards the vehicles. Okay. Some were intercepted by new L2 laser flak. The missiles I knew laser flak. The spray of energy enough to detonate some of them before they reached the procession. Others found their targets, though only after their launchers, the soldiers firing them. The met the destructive capabilities of mech snap firing on their location. The Yep. Will she eventually be able to like merge it with her fire powers so that she gets like a broader temperature control that goes all the way from freezing stuff to burning stuff? Hmm. Okay. Mm. The sudden outburst of violence. Sudden was effectively over almost before it began. And they continued this. The occasional combat group desperately throwing themselves Yep. Let's. Let's see. They desperately throwing themselves at the relentless march of the war machine. Stomping deeper and deeper into. Okay, give me a second. I just need to check something. Okay. the city. Moving along the paths with practice precision. The halls of the Senate. They, in the distance. They, in the bunker beneath, the Senate, halls, the seems reasonable. Uh, yep. The ground as the mech continued to with a planned with turning easily to make quick time towards their destination. Approach the as the mech continued on their unstoppable unstoppable approach. The the Caesar was coordinating one final strike. Their remaining forces are ready to converge and make one final stand against the invaders. Despite the constant rush and death and frantic efforts, there was a certain air finality that hung over everyone in the room. The once pristine togas were wrinkled and stained as they as they moved about, there was none the usual excitement. No attempt at argument or power plays. They simply ran. As they moved as quickly as they could to desperately make some attempt at make some attempt at let's see. Attempt at recovering the situation. The communicators flared on for a moment. Message 11 AU 2 light minutes. Over an hour and off. and a half old. A message over an hour and a half old arrived. Stating confirming. Arrived. The light sent from a distant transmitter finally covering the distance between. We have. These are the battle tech mercenary commands. Battle Tech Mercenary Commands, Free Worlds League. Field renegades. Are you the man? Get their ballad. Nope, that is 34. Sorry, no. Huh? Go there. No, they wouldn't be here at this time. Random battle tech mercenary force namer. Okay, let's find a planet in the area that I'm looking for. We are looking for something in... Right? Yeah, Paradise, so... Wall of Wars. The Wall of Wars, making an approach. So, hired to provide aid to the Marin Germany in this time of need. Uh, 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 for the marching across the inner sphere story. Well, I wanted to come up with my own version of the Celestial Forge, right? I wanted to come up with a version that had better overall pacing and worked in a way that I liked. Because there were a bunch of things I didn't like about the way that the Celestial Forge was being used. So I was considering how to do it. And, well, part of that was just like looking into it and saying, well, this kind of doesn't work for me. And eventually, I found something that did. But yeah, and then BattleTech is actually a really good mid-level universe where you are not going to be super powerful. Like, basically, like most of the tech you will get out of a high-powered story is going to be too big for any setting that is one world, and it's going to be too small for a lot of like interplanetary stories, right? A lot of Celestial Forge stories, if they were set in something like Star Wars or like Stargate or something, you're almost going to get more out of perks that will let you reverse engineer the technology that already exists than you would out of being given other perks, right? And then that turns into a story about reverse engineering instead of creating your own ship. The other thing I could have done is maybe like Mass Effect, but in Mass Effect, you kind of run into the problem Mass Effect is too small. Because any good FTL breaks that setting over its knee. And yeah. It's on. The. Transmission. The. Signal. The message announced. We are en route. Hold until we can arrive to provide aid. So the Celestial Forge is like a version of the March, but it uses so do you know what a jump chain is? Hold strong until we can arrive to provide aid. Okay, so there is this writing prompt called a jump chain. It's basically this idea that it's basically like an isekai story, but it's like a self-insert story writing prompt where there's a list of powers that you can give your person. And it's called a jump chain because usually the way these stories work is you get inserted into one setting, you get a bunch of powers, you do your stuff in that world, then you go to the next world, and the next world, the next world. You keep getting more powers until you become super overpowered, yada 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 yada. Right? That's the jump chain. There are a bunch of documents that exist that cover different things. They're called jump docs. So if I look at jump chain documents, I look in like Reddit, there is a Google Drive with a bunch of jump chain stuff. So if we do like the Reddit jump chain drive, whatever, yada 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 yada, you will see that there are a bunch of these jump docs. Let's find something interesting. I don't know. So let's look at, for example, the Samurai 7 jump dock, right? Sorry for the weird filter, that's just a thing. But point is, there are these docks that have various points. You do you get different perks that you can get. There are like discounts and stuff and whatever. Thing is, there are a bunch of these docks that have like technology-based powers, right? Like this Kardashev 2 engineer. The Celestial Forge is basically an iteration on a jump chain thing by gathering a bunch of these tech powers and shoving them into one immense pool of perks that you get at random. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then there's only really one story that I've enjoyed that is a jump chain. I think there's a couple more that I've like kind of liked, but there's only one that's really good, and that's Brockton Bay's Celestial Forge. And that one what does a bunch of things I like, but it's got a bit of a pacing issue in that it's a little slow. I don't mind that because I like some of the stuff that goes with it, but even I can admit that there are some portions that get a little bit annoying to read. And I was thinking, okay, how do I adjust that? Like, how do I do the balance for things getting better, yada, 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 yada. And eventually I kind of settled on what the March of Civilization has become. A couple of things I did is I don't give any items as a part of my dock, right? In the Celestial Forge, you can get a bunch of items that are get a bunch of items that are like immensely powerful, and they basically break any sense of progression if you get the right items. So that's one of the reasons I don't do that. That the stuff perks just give you the knowledge of how to make shit, right? The other thing that I decided was, I'm going to build a roller for this to disincentivize weird ass rolling properties. There's like a bunch of Celestial Forge and Celestial Forge inspired systems that operate on a similar way, but they'll do stuff like, hey, you're allowed to not select the perk that you choose. You are not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. And so you're allowed to do this. You're allowed to do that. And it makes the thing much more rampy, and it wrecks progression. This hopefully is a bit nicer. F, for a few desperate minutes, there was hope. The orders flowed through communication lines as this um, final option was dangled in front of us. Even as the walls of the bunker shook one final time with the mechs. They shook harder and harder. The mechs closing in. The prepared desperate frantic make any sort of attempt at recovering the situation. For a few certain seed of hope was planted in the hearts of the people hunkered in the bunker. And the orders to, as this final opportunity. They simply held fast. Gamble to make use of this Uh, break. Their remaining tanks, and they boarded their own mechs. Final. The armored vehicles. The armored vehicles. Put forth by put so no both both emerging from the hangars, the armored hangars, alongside the few remaining, the reinforced armored vehicles, vehicles that alongside the few remaining armored vehicles that they still had. Air forces uh, rounding the corner of the procession. The company of Canopian. Canopian. Canopus. Magistracy of Canopus Command. Lancers. Say a lance of Canopian mechs. Inner sphere military structure. Company of Canopian Lancers. With their weapons. They attempted, so they began to fire, unloading. I say, stand down. The offer came. Surrender, yourself. And you may yet stand trial. May it stand. And you, and Dantra. The Caesars. Harsh laugh, echoed back down the, line. And die on Mathara? Or, yeah? Or, perhaps even, I bow my head, no man. With that, he unleashed, the full loadout. Assault. His force there. The rain of fire. Um, um, meeting the surge of laser flak and smashing into the armor of the opposing mech. And FSCs. The intruders were a little faster on their controls as compared to the rest of the senatorial forces. Mm, mm, uh, um, senatorial forces. And the return fire smash into them. The deluge of lasers and bullets. Yeah, it's crashed into the mechs. The overheated form of the Colossus. Effectively crap. Even as the Atlas leading the so even as the common magistracy mech. This is what, like a heavy, right? Marauder leading the march walk up to it, and with a slight push, then the locked up war machine tumbling to the ground. In moments, the infantry forces from the Victus coalition swarm the vessel, forcing the nearly cooked commander out of the the no. I'll be gone. He handcuffed. The year seemed I don't think that will be happening. Our allies, come. He boasts. I shall be. The disregard, the disdainful, expression was visible even through the opaque mask. We've already taken those vessels. Those. The system is ours, and there is no one for you. That finally. Finally. Struck the madman. Okay. I think that's where we end off today. And you figure out where this goes and also a bunch of other stuff. So, cheers, everyone. See you in 3 weeks.